There's going to be 5 modules that we will be looking at. The first one would be the duties of traffic wardens, power of arrest, and the legislative amendments as it relates to DUI. The second module looks at report writing, and then we look at motorcycle helmets and its standards. On Wednesday, we'd look at the proper use of breathalyzers, and then we'll do some training related to that. On Thursday, we then look at electronic evidence as it relates to the changes in legislation and the use of the body cams and dash cams. And on Friday, of course, we'll be doing a simulation on a case file preparation.
Please remember, the rules are there for a reason. The regulations are there for a reason. It's not to bypass them. It's to ensure that you protect the citizens of Glaze.
We're not here to just teach you. We're also here to learn from you. You are the ones who are on the streets every day doing traffic enforcements. So you know what are the issues that affects you and should be able to guide us so that we can correct those issues.
At the beginning, it was a bit challenging because it sounded so good and so promising that I think people were reluctant in embracing the idea. But after 2 years in this NHI program, the perception of people and the usage of people for the services that we offer is very much appreciated. And the people are using all the services that we have. And our population has grown a lot. We actually have registered, which by the way, I have to mention this, we never expected to grow this fast. We are at 12,000 and plus registered patients with us right now. And the numbers are growing on a daily basis, I would say. for the general physicians and the specialists that include the gynecologists, the pediatrician, and the internist. And now we have a nutritionist, it's $2, which is very accessible to people. And when it comes to the laboratory or the images, it's just a 10% cost that they pay for the whole service that is offered. If we have a healthy community, then I would say that the whole country itself is going to benefit from it, because a healthy community is going to be successful economically as a whole. That is my vision of the NHI. It serves its purpose.
Today will be the inauguration of the backup water system. This will be able to assist the Pomona Water Board to expand, and if they get breakdown with the current system, this can also be a backup. There are times when, especially in the dry season, when the current system might run low or might run dry, and that by itself creates a problem to fetch water. So we are hopeful that if this is not used as much right now, when the other system runs low, this will kick in.
We must ensure that people have access to clean, safe, potable water, just like everybody else across this country. What you see here today is an investment of over $160,000. It includes all the pipes that you see here. We also have other accessories. We have a backup generator. We have the solar system. And we also have a booster pump.
The most difficult part that hinders development is the access of water. We have reduced significantly the amount of people that were deprived from accessing a basic need such as water.
I am elated, very happy to be here, receiving the system. I think everybody would be very happy, very happy.
When we call it, we have no water, no nothing. That was an empty spot, but it's home now. They have a pipe right out there, so it's still okay, just that we had to reach up to get the water. I cannot wait to have it reach to our door.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. Belizeans are being advised to prepare for the possibility of scheduled power outages during the evening hours as Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, warns that reduced electricity imports from Mexico could impact the country's power supply. BEL says Mexico's state-owned electricity provider, the Comisión Federal de Electricidad, CFE, has notified the company that electricity exports to Belize may be reduced as demand on its own national grid continues to increase. Should those reductions occur, BEL says it will implement controlled load shedding between 6 p.m. and midnight to safeguard the integrity of Belize's national electricity system and prevent a more widespread blackout. Speaking on the matter today, Prime Minister John Briceño acknowledged the challenge and said the government is actively working to strengthen Belize's energy security and reduce the country's reliance on imported electricity.
Well, that has always been a problem since 2000 and from 2024. As we know, Belize has been, the demand for electricity has been growing exceedingly fast, and likewise in the southern part of Mexico they're having the same problems. they should have had 1.2 gigawatts of electricity already online, but they seem to be having a lot of problems in getting that. I think the plants have been built in Mexico, but now they're having problems on how they can get the natural gas system to power up or fire up those plants. So we are in conversation with them, but at the same time we are also taking our own precautions. We're happy that it's raining, so the dam is starting to fill up again, so we'll be able to get some more electricity from them. We also, BL had signed on with a company to be able to have a standby generator. The generator should have been here from the month of, towards the end of May, I think. But because of the war in Iraq, it has messed up, the shipping, and that is why we have not gotten it by now. We're hoping that by the end of the month or sometime next month, that standby generator will be here. Once that standby generator is in Belize, so whenever there's any kind of load shedding, then we will be able to fire that up for us to be able to ensure that we don't have any load shedding in Belize.
The Prime Minister said the government's long-term objective is to expand domestic power generation through investments in renewable energy and other local generation projects, ensuring Belize can meet its growing electricity demand while minimizing the risk of supply disruptions. PM Briceño also voiced his support for the proposed $20 million Belize investment by the Social Security Board, SSB, in Hydro Belize, describing it as a positive step towards increasing the country's capacity to generate electricity locally.
I think it's a good investment. As you all know, Social Security, the last time I checked, had over $100+ million, and they need to put that money to work. If they can't invest that money, by 2030, they will have to raise contributions. And they look for solid investment that would bring at the minimum a 5% rate of return. Unfortunately, BTL is nowhere near that, and we have to try to find ways how we can fix that. But with Hydro Belize, from the prospectus, they're saying that they expect 10% or probably as much as 12% dividends on a yearly basis. So it is a good investment, and it's an investment that we support.
Belizeans could experience scheduled power interruptions this evening as Belize Electricity Limited BEL prepares for the possibility of reduced electricity imports from Mexico. BEL announced that controlled load shedding may be required after Mexico's state-owned electricity provider, Comisión Federal de Electricidad, CFE, advised that power exports to Belize could be curtailed due to increasing demand across its domestic network. The utility explained that if imports are reduced, it may implement planned outages between 6 p.m. and midnight to safeguard the national electricity grid and prevent a more widespread system failure. The company has also been working to lessen the country's reliance on imported electricity by increasing local generation. The company noted that it is collaborating with independent power producers Babco, Belcogen, and Santander to expand domestic electricity production in the short term while continuing to pursue long-term renewable energy projects, including grid-connected solar generation. Speaking during a July 3rd interview, BEL Executive Chairman Lin Young said the company is also moving forward with the installation of a 20-megawatt emergency generation unit near Mile 8 on the George Price Highway.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, we know of the challenges that's happening in CFE, and really and truly, it's not only CFE. Events throughout the world right now is driving up fuel prices. There's just logistics problems with delivering fuel. There's a lot of challenges there. What we have done is that we are renting about 20 megawatts of generation that we are putting in place at Westlake to cover us so that in the event CFE cannot supply, we can meet it. We had hoped to have that online this month, but again, the war and stuff kind of caught up with us. some of the deliveries that were supposed to happen got caught up in that whole shipping problem, and so it's late on delivery. So we expect to have that emergency power online around the mid to end of August. Once that comes online and we are not exposed, we won't be as exposed to the CFE situation. We are also looking to try to meet with the IPPs, Babcock, Belcogen, Santander, to see if there's a way that we can enhance the in-country generation in the short term. And of course, we have some long-term projects in place to bring in grid-connected solar. So we're taking the steps necessary to try to deal with the short term through the emergency power, and then we have these projects that will deal with it in the long term.
Until the backup generation is operational, BEL said controlled load shedding will remain a measure of last resort if electricity imports from Mexico decline, helping to maintain the stability and reliability of Belize's power system. Prime Minister John Briceño was also asked today for an update on the independent audit into procurement practices at the Ministry of Defense. While he could not discuss specific details of the ongoing exercise, the Prime Minister assured Belizeans that the review is intended to determine whether any wrongdoing occurred and to strengthen accountability within the ministry. Briceño explained that the audit is examining procurement practices dating back to 2015 with the goal of identifying any irregularities and recommending corrective measures where necessary.
We can't, I don't talk to the auditor, to the Auditor General. She's independent and she's doing her own job. She has been going meticulously through, it's a lot of files because on invoices and the POs, what they refer to as the POs, the purchase orders, and the contracts. It's a lot of work, and they're compiling them. That's what the last I know from the CEO, and whenever she has a report in, she make it available.
PM Briceño also revealed that he recently met with the ministry's chief executive officer and senior commanders of the Belize Defense Force to discuss the ongoing situation. According to Briceño, military leadership is being kept informed throughout the process to ensure transparency and maintain confidence within the institution. The Prime Minister stressed that despite the audit, the government's priority is to ensure that members of the Belize Defense Force continue to receive the supplies they need, particularly when it comes to proper nutrition.
At what has happened during our time, but it's also important to be able to take a look back. And I believe that we can go back as far as 2015. I don't think that has been officially said to the Auditor General, but I will ask if the Financial Secretary to speak with her and also to request that we go back all the way to 2015. I think that a lot has been said, and there's this impression as if, this money has been paid and the soldiers and the Coast Guard are not getting food. If you want to be objective, every soldier will tell you that today they're eating way better than they did before we came into government. I met with the commandant, or the commander for the Coast Guard and the commander for the BDF on Monday for the first time, along with the CEO, to be able to discuss these issues. And one of the issues what the commander for the Coast Guard was making is that because of the poor food that they were getting earlier, all of this packaged food, canned food, is high in sodium content, that a lot of us, our Coast Guard, are suffering from hypertension or high blood pressure. And unfortunately, an officer died just, I think, not too far ago, not too long ago. And I think about 2 or 3 of them also have gotten a stroke because of that. So we have to ensure that they eat healthy, because we can't expect our soldiers to be out in the jungle, and eating potted meat, because that is what we're eating now. We are looking at now starting to order directly from the manufacturer, the MRE, what they call the manufacturer in the United States. And the idea is that we will be able to buy a whole container load with the logo of the Belize Defense Force, to ensure that then once you bring it in, you're not selling it out there to start with, but to ensure that the BDF and also the Coast Guard can get the best food possible for them.
The PM also reiterated that the audit is not only about uncovering any potential wrongdoing, but also about implementing stronger systems that promote transparency, accountability, and better management of public funds within the Ministry of Defense. Belize the Sugar Industries BSI has announced the second cane payment for the 2026 crop, with cane farmers set to receive their payment on Wednesday, July 22nd. While the estimated price is an improvement over last year's second payment, growers say the increase is still not enough to offset the steadily rising costs of producing sugar cane. In a letter dated July 13 to the four cane farmers associations, BSI advised that the estimated average cane price stands at $59.94 per ton. Under the sugar industry agreement, 91% of that estimated price will be paid as the second payment. Farmers had already received a first payment of $42.43 per ton at the time of cane delivery, with the second payment to be calculated according to the relative factors for each delivery group. The estimate is based on projected production of 74,992 tons of sugar and 29,764 tons of molasses from approximately 815,285 tons of cane milled during the 2026 crop. BSI explained that the figures remain estimates because the re-melting of raw sugar into plantation white sugar for the domestic market is still ongoing, meaning final production figures are yet to be confirmed. Although the payment represents an improvement over the same period last year, Chairman of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association Orange Walk Branch, Fred Ortega, says the farmers had been hoping for a stronger return. Ortega explained that growers have little insight into how Belize's sugar is being marketed, since BSI is solely responsible for the sale of the country's sugar. As a result, farmers have no way of independently assessing market conditions or determining whether better prices could have been achieved.
Well, yes, it was released late yesterday evening. And in reality, well, many farmers are querying about that because they expected a bit more higher than what it came out, because as you rightly say, I think it came out in $59.94, on which it varies right now in the second payment based on the quality of where the test group end the crop. So now it's where the variation in regards to payment will come to the individual farmer. But I've got many calls from many farmers, and they are really disappointed because they thought that the price would have been higher. So that is what we have got from BSI, and always that has happened. We only get the information from them, and they are the ones that have the weight on them to market our sugar. So as a leader, we only receive the information from them, and we pass it on to the farmers.
What is it that they have said were contributing factors to that payment?
Well, as we speak right now, well, during the crop, when we had different meetings with them, and the different estimates that were sent, is that the world price was low, and there was a problem in regards to price outside, and that was always the hymn sheet that was there. But when we listen and we see, we are seeing that the price outside is much better. The thing is, we think a lot about this is because they put us world price on the raw sugar and other sugars that is being sold, on which no sugar is being sold to the world market. All sugars are being sold to different places, different countries, on which we believe that the price should be much better. But as we see, or as we know, that we don't have anybody in the group. There is no marketing committee. It's only BSI that has the power or the opportunity in law to market our sugar and molasses or all the derivatives that comes out from our sugar cane.
He added that many producers will continue to feel the financial strain, pointing out that the cost of producing cane has increased significantly over the past year. According to Ortega, higher fuel prices, fertilizer costs, and other agricultural inputs continue to place heavy pressure on farmers, reducing the benefit of any increase in cane payments.
It's not looking so good because, well, this second payment is very low, but nevertheless, there are some farmers that are doing on their own. Some of them have already prepared land to make their replanting. Some are getting prepared to replant maybe in the month of September. But in reality, the price is very low. There are many farmers that will only go to their financial institution to get their receipts, because many of us will stay owing the bank, because as you can appreciate, this year the price of fuel went up, so the price that was charged to farmers also went up, because, well, as group leaders, we were unable to cushion all the expenses that were brought up in the increase of fuel. So it's a very hard situation right now, because even as we speak right now, the price of diesel is still over $14 per gallon of diesel, and even that farmers are finding elsewhere to get a little bit of leverage in regards to fuel, the price is still high. So when we speak that the fuel is high, that gives you to mind that everything is higher: the fertilizer, the herbicides, even the labor is a bit higher than it was some years ago. So it's very difficult right now, and Ms. Norma, farmers are trying to cope, but many farmers are being pushed also to that they are waiting to see what would be that they will be staying with, or what amount they will be owing their financial institution.
While growers welcome the higher payment, industry leaders say the long-term sustainability of cane farming will depend on stronger returns that better reflect the increasing cost of production. Farmers will now await the final crop payment once BSI completes its marketing activities and final production figures are confirmed. Despite expressing disappointment over the second cane payment expected next week, the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BSCFA, says its members have much to be proud of after delivering a strong performance during the 2026 crop season. Speaking on the outcome of the harvest, BSCFA Orange Walk Chairman Fred Ortega said farmers were able to deliver their cane with better quality than last year's crop, despite facing another difficult production season. Ortega noted that BSCFA farmers overcame numerous obstacles, including pests and diseases affecting cane fields, operational challenges at the factory, labor shortages, and instances where mature cane was left unharvested in the fields. Even though setbacks, growers remained committed throughout the season and managed to record one of the strongest performances among the 4 cane farmer associations. A standout achievement came from the Corozal branch of the BSCFA, which recorded the highest quality cane delivered to the mill during the 2026 crop. While the association is pleased with the association's overall performance, Ortega stressed that improved productivity alone is not enough. He said farmers still need better financial returns to sustain their operations, as the rising cost of fuel, fertilizers, labor, and other inputs continue to place significant pressure on the industry.
It was somewhat tough, I can say. Nevertheless, there was an opportunity that had the opportunity to bring what amount you can. The problem was, for many of us, labor and manpower, cane cutters. And as you know, there's an amount of machinery that came in this year, on which it assisted many farmers that might have stayed with their cane in the field. Nevertheless, with the machinery that gave them the opportunity, farmers managed to get out their cane. Also, that had an impact in regards to quality, because machine takes anything versus when a person is cutting with machete, it's different. So when we see the quality on which we finish, we can say that BSCFA and Corozal, one of them came in the first place. And we have an association that came in second, but the difference was there in regards to the quality of cane being delivered, but also that demonstrates the impact of the pests that we have been suffering for the past 2 years, and mostly the fusarium and the mealybug that we have seen, and it continues now, and we are seeing that the expansion of it is growing in a daily basis. So it's very hard right now, because to contain or to stop the spread of the mealybug, that means that the farmers have to invest more, on which the funds for those investments are not there. So we are appealing to the government. The government have some material that they have already bought through CIRDI to assist the farmers, but the problem of the farmers is to get the funds, to get the service to spray those materials on their cane field to reduce the impact of the pests that is out there at this point. Because as you know, it's not only the mealybug, but we have the worm, and we have the froghopper that is there making its own damage, and also, well, we have the fusarium that is out there doing its damage also. And well, we can appreciate also climate change that is above us, and well, during the crop also, the mill had its mechanical problems that really compound and was part of the issue where we were unable to have a steady crop that we can appreciate and say, well, we had a very good crop where we were able to deliver in a timely manner.
Coming up next, despite challenges, cane farmers shift their focus to preparing their fields for the next crop season. Stay tuned.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
It's easy to sit at home and blame the government for crime. A lot of people do it. Politicians do it all the time. It's like a game. Gang members shooting each other or innocent citizens. Blame the government. Blame the police. Narco players executed because of a drug deal gone bad. Blame the government. Blame the police. Domestic violence turned fatal, same thing. Every murder, no matter where, no matter why, same blame game. But our children weren't born criminals. When did they become murderers? Who taught them their values? Who taught them about right and wrong? Where are their parents, their families? It's not too late to save your child. It's not too late to raise your child right. Keep them in school. Keep them off the streets. Teach them the value of hard work. Teach them honesty and integrity. Love them before it's too late. Stop the blame game and let's all be the village that raises our children. A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del Mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Gather your friends and watch the World Cup at Lamanai Riverside Retreat. Every game, every goal, every day, watch the world's biggest football celebration right here at Lamanai Riverside Retreat.
While the 2026 sugar crop has come to an end, the cane farmers across northern Belize have already shifted their focus to preparing their fields for the next harvest, expected to begin towards the end of the year. However, one of the biggest challenges confronting growers during the off-season is the continued spread of mealybugs, a pest that has been causing significant damage to sugarcane fields. Chairman of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association's Orange Walk branch, Fred Ortega, says the infestation is most severe in Corozal, but the problem has spread throughout the entire northern sugar belt.
Well, if you can appreciate, right now there are some fields here in Orange Walk, but mostly we can see the damage in Corozal, where the leaves of the new stocks are getting yellow, and some of them are getting not only yellow, but are getting brown completely. So that means that that stock or those areas where the infestation is, those canes, if nothing is being done there, they will die, and then a new growth will come in, and if nothing is done, then they damage the other wrong. So that is a problem that the farmers are facing right now, but we are seeing that in Corozal is where the biggest damage is being done as we speak right now. Thankfully, we're getting some rain right now. The rain contained them a little bit. So we hope that that intervention can be done as quickly as possible so that we can at least get the benefit out of this rain to contain the spreading of this insect.
While the government of Belize has begun providing assistance through agricultural inputs to help farmers combat the pest, Ortega says much more support will be needed to effectively address the problem. According to Ortega, the northern sugar industry will require close to $5 million to adequately respond to the mealybug infestation and prevent further losses.
We had a meeting about 2 weeks, I think, or last week with CIRDE personnel. And what was brought out in regards to what they believe is needed only for the service, not putting into context the material, it's in the vicinity of $5 million for all the cane fields, not only for the BSCFA, but all the farmers at large to get that opportunity to their field being sprayed so that they can contain this insect.
And how urgent is that needed?
As of yesterday.
Despite the challenges, farmers remain hopeful that with increased collaboration between government agencies, industry stakeholders, and producers, the spread of mealybugs can be contained before the start of the next crop. With the current commercial agreement between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BSCFA, and Belize Sugar Industries, BSI, set to expire in November of this year, attention is already turning to negotiations for a new agreement ahead of the 2027 crop season. The agreement, which governs the commercial relationship between the miller and cane farmers, is expected to be a key focus in the coming months as both sides seek terms that will guide the future of the northern sugar industry. BCFA Chairman Fred Ortega says the association is entering the negotiations with one clear objective: to secure an agreement that protects the interests of its members and provides farmers with a fair return for their cane.
Our signature that we did with them will come to an end in November again. So we have to negotiate agreement with them again. We should start not so far from now with them to negotiate a new agreement. We hope that we can end up with good terms because, as you know, it's a history of issues that have been out there on which the negotiation has not come to a fruition where we get together and understand ourselves on where we want to go. It's very important for us to get that on the table and to see how best now, as the year has passed, that we can negotiate something better for our farmers, because that is what the BSCFA has always been doing, trying to find better opportunities, better ways, and better payments for our farmers. Because as we speak right now, and you rightly said at the beginning, how the farmers are coping right now with the situation. The problem is that right now, as we speak, in the increase of the price of fuel, almost everything that the farmers got as first payment for their deliveries was used to pay for the harvesting of their cane. So they stay with nothing right now that they can say, okay, there's an amount where I can purchase my fertilizer, my herbicide, and do the necessary work at the cane field. So those are things that are on hand, and we hope that that we can come to better terms in regards to our agreement with the mill.
In recent years, BSI has favored shorter-term commercial agreements, citing the uncertainty facing the sugar industry. However, Ortega says the BSCFA is not opposed to negotiating a longer-term agreement if it provides meaningful benefits for farmers.
Is it the association, will you guys be pushing for a long-term agreement, or is it a case that, you guys will continue with this, trying to just sign for the crop season that is upcoming?
Well, all will depends, Ms. Norma, on how the negotiations develop. I think that, yes, a long term is very good once we get into terms that will be beneficial to both parties, because we're not looking on the side of the farmers, but we want that that the farmers get what is due to them based on the work that they have been doing, and also the mill get what correspond to them. So that is why we have always been seeking to get a better point of repayment to the farmers, or payment to the farmers, where they can have the sufficient funds based on the price of their cane to do their necessary husbandry in the time that the plant need it.
A landmark judgment from the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, has sparked renewed calls for severance compensation from former employees of Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, prompting a growing movement demanding what they believe is long overdue payment. The ruling clarified that severance pay is an independent statutory entitlement and cannot automatically be replaced or offset by payments from an employer's pension fund unless such an arrangement is expressly. BEL has responded by defending its long-standing employment practices. In a public statement, the company said its pension plan was designed to incorporate severance obligations and maintain that the benefits paid to former employees have historically met or exceeded the legal requirements. The utility also indicated that it intends to seek formal guidance from the High Court to determine how the CCJ's ruling should be applied within the context of BEL's pension and severance framework. According to BEL's executive chairman, the company tends to file to the court to seek clarification.
The CCJ's decision was related to the BTL case and was specific to the BTL case, but there are some implications for every company in the country that has a pension plan, not only BEL, Social Security, Central Bank, BWSL, etc. Our understanding is that the decision said that if a pension plan doesn't explicitly say it covers severance, then severance is in addition to the pension plan. In BL's case, the pension deed, the deed that BL has says that it covers severance. In fact, the BL pension plan was started with employees' severance, right? The severance obligations of the company was calculated and it was used to start the pension plan to ensure that the pension plan covered the severance. So it would be, I think it would be responsible of any company to just go and pay out severance in addition to a pension plan, just on the basis of a ruling for BTL. You need to look at the particular circumstances of each company and decide, how you move forward with it. So that is what BL has done. We've gone to the court to get clarification from the court to see if the court agrees with the legal advice that the company has gotten, that everybody has gotten. Yes.
The dispute now shifts to the courts, where further legal interpretation is expected to determine whether BEL's existing pension arrangements satisfy the requirements outlined in the CCJ's decision. While the 2026 sugar crop has come to an end, cane farmers across northern Belize have already shifted their focus to preparing their fields for the next harvest, expected to begin towards the end of the year. However, one of the biggest challenges confronting growers during the off-season is the continued spread of mealybugs, a pest that has been causing significant damage to sugarcane fields. Chairman of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association's Orange Walk branch, Fred Ortega, says the infestation is most severe in Corozal, but the problem has spread throughout the entire northern sugar belt.
Well, if you can appreciate, right now there are some fields here in Orange Walk, but mostly we can see the damage in Corozal, where the leaves of the new stocks are getting yellow, and some of them are getting not only yellow, but are getting brown completely. So that means that stock or those areas where the infestation is, those canes, if nothing is being done there, they will die, and then a new growth will come in, and if nothing is done, then they damage the other wrong. So that is the problem that the farmers are facing right now. But we are seeing that in Corozal is where the biggest damage is being done as we speak right now. Thankfully, we're getting some rain right now. The rain contained them a little bit. So we hope that that intervention can be done as quickly as possible so that we can at least get the benefit out of this rain to contain the spreading of this insect.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
It is a distinct honor to be here in Belize for the launch of the Caribbean Development Bank's Basic Needs Trust Fund 11 program, BNTF 11. For more than 4 decades, BNTF has stood as one of the bank's most visible and impactful instruments for community-based poverty reduction. Here in Belize, the legacy is clear. Over the past 25 years, BNTF has completed 79 sub-projects in vulnerable communities at an estimated cost of $23.79 million United States dollars. Through BNTF 11, we have begun a new cycle of investments. This investment of more than $5.2 million United States dollars represents far more than approved financing. It represents a renewed commitment.
BNTF has supported transformative investments in education, water and sanitation, community infrastructure, livelihoods, and social development. Through BNTF 11, we have an opportunity to build on that legacy by ensuring that our investments respond directly to the needs of our people, particularly the most vulnerable among us.
The new school building has made a huge difference for me and my classmates. The improvement to our school have made our learning environment cleaner, safer, and more comfortable. Thank you to the Caribbean Development Bank, with the Social Investment Fund, the government, and everyone else who helped.
No one must be left behind. Not that child attending school in rural Toledo, not the farmer in Orange Rock, not the family in Corozal, not the communities that continue to face challenges accessing basic services.
The Protected Areas Conservation Trust Pact and the Association of Protected Areas Management Organizations, APAMO, have renewed their partnership with the signing for 3 years strategic agreement aimed at reinforcing the management and conservation of Belize's National Protected Areas system. The agreement, signed on June 30, 2026, builds on the long-standing collaboration between the two organizations and underscores their shared commitment to improving the stewardship of the country's protected areas. A key focus of the renewed partnership is providing greater support to community-based organizations and non-governmental organizations that serve as co-managers of protected sites across Belize. As part of the agreement, PACT will continue to provide strategic financial assistance to APAMO, helping the organization strengthen its constitutional capacity, expand services for its members, and improve its long-term financial and operational sustainability. The renewed partnership is guided by 5 strategic priorities: strengthening institutional capacity and governance, enhancing protected area management and conservation efforts, promoting diversified financing mechanisms, increasing national education, public engagement and advocacy, and securing APAMO's financial sustainability. To achieve these objectives, the PACT and APAMO have developed a joint work plan that outlines several key initiatives. These include improving governance and operational efficiency, raising public awareness about the importance of protected areas, creating a sustainable financing strategy for APAMO, and expanding technical and administrative assistance to member organizations through the APAMO Central Resource Center, ACRC. The renewed agreement reflects both organizations' continued dedication to building a stronger, more resilient protected areas network while supporting the organizations and communities working to conserve Belize's natural heritage. Belize has assumed a key regional leadership role after the Statistical Institute of Belize, SIB, was named pro tempore president of the Central American Statistical Commission for the July to December 2026 term. The official transfer of the presidency from the Dominican Republic took place during the 31st ordinary meeting held from June 8 to the 12th, 2026. Central Estad, the Statistical Commission of the Central American Integration System, SICA, is made up of the heads of national statistical offices from member countries. The Commission works to strengthen the production of timely, reliable, and comparable official statistics across the region. Its presidency rotates every 6 months among member states. As pro tempore president, the Statistical Institute of Belize will lead the Commission's agenda, coordinate meetings and training activities, and support the implementation of priorities agreed upon by member countries. The SIB is honored to assume pro tempore presidency of Centro Estad on behalf of the country of Belize, said Director General of the Statistical Institute of Belize, Mrs. Diana Castillo. In this capacity, we are committed to continue working closely with the SICA Secretariat and our counterpart national statistical offices to advance the work of strengthening official statistics for evidence-based decision-making across the countries of the SICA region through the implementation of the Centro Estad Plan of activities for the remainder of this year. The June meeting also highlighted several regional initiatives aimed at improving the use of data in policy making. Members reviewed progress on the development of municipal maps designed to support nutrition-related decisions, an initiative led by the Institute of Nutrition of Central America and Panama. Delegates also discussed the creation of a regional platform to monitor investment in water, sanitation, and hygiene projects. In addition, Mexico's National Institute of Statistics and Geography showcased a pilot project carried out in collaboration with the National Institute of Statistics of Honduras, which uses artificial intelligence to automate the coding of economic activities in household surveys. Belize's 6-month presidency places the country at the forefront of regional efforts to strengthen official statistics and promote data-driven decision-making throughout the SICA member states. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, July 16th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.